I'm Stuart Thompson, editor of Digital TV Europe. I'm here with Ben Lavender, who's Chief Product Officer at DAZN. Ben, there's a lot happening in sports. There's a lot of competition. There's piracy. There's all sorts of things going on. What are the main challenges that you as a sports streamer face, and what do you need to do to overcome those? What challenges does the industry face right now?
Certainly for live sport, the biggest challenge that we face is that the customer expectation, when they're used to the likes of Netflix and YouTube and Amazon Video, they just expect it to work. Now, sport has a lot of challenges, in particular, so to actually get the latency from grass to glass, getting that down to as low as possible so that fans aren't seeing spoilers on Twitter before they actually see it on screen. Making sure that we're actually giving them the best possible picture quality. So which means looking through the entire production chain and making sure that as we are introducing sports graphics and commentary, we're not actually slowing down or degrading the signal so we can get it to encoders. And it's making sure we get the highest possible signal to encoders so we can compress it as small as possible so that we can still get amazing picture quality over some quite challenging network conditions, particularly like in southern Italy, where the broadband and cellular is not quite as good as, say, the north of Italy. So fans require that you actually have a high frame rate. If you're at 25, 30 frames per second, the ball starts to judder. So making sure it's really sharp, making sure that you can't fuzziness on again a fast-moving sports ball. It's just got to be clear so you can see what's going on. You need to be able to see the numbers on the back of fans' shirts. Every little detail about encoding, we actually have people who are poring over the actual encoding parameters to actually make sure we can get think of it almost like a Formula One sports car. We actually have a bunch of, effectively think almost like mechanics who are tuning it to actually make sure we can really make sure that the picture is as crisp as possible so that the grass looks nice. Every little detail just works, and this is something which fans will never realise except when it goes wrong. So it's just got to work.
Yeah, there's a lot of work going in to make it look easy.
Yes.
Yeah. You mentioned Netflix there, and obviously DAZN is a challenger brand in sports. How easy is it to replicate the kind of disruption that Netflix has achieved in scripted drama, for example, in sports?
Certainly for us, original content is key for bridging the gap between the key events. So certainly for football, we produce a lot of content in the lead up to the event and after the event. During the event, depending upon the actual the importance, if a low tier event we may not have no commentary, we just take it as it is. For the higher tier event, we'll actually have on-screen talent, maybe on the pitch. And some quite big name personalities and commentators. In the US, in particular, where we have boxing is our stable sport. Then we have these huge marquee fights which we have to promote many days in advance. So we've done documentaries on sort of 40 days with Canelo, and most recently we actually did One Night, which was a documentary produced by Sylvester Stallone. About the big upset with Anthony Joshua and Ruiz, of which we're having the repeat match soon. But again, this is something which was even broadcast on BBC One and Sky last night, and you can catch up on it on BBC iPlayer.
Right, there's a lot to do to get that audience attention and retain it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
In general, in the OTT world, what do you think streaming providers need to do to bring that quality of the user experience up to kind of a standard that's going to drive uptake of services?
Certainly, with the likes of Netflix, customers, the level of simplicity which you have in Netflix, if you actually certainly right now there's a certain amount of ubiquity in terms of on TV, in terms of up, down, left, right, how you discover. So that is, I guess, something that fans expect, and they also expect it to be on whichever device you can. Now, certainly when DAZN launched about sort of 3.5 years ago, it took Netflix and Amazon probably about 4 or 5 years to be on pretty much all the devices which they are. Now, again, fans or customers don't really care that it took them that long. So we had to work extra hard to actually make sure we were everywhere. So we're now on 96% of consumer electronics in the living room. And for that was key. So if content is king, distribution is queen. They've just got to watch it wherever they want. They've got to be able to pay for it however they want. If it's credit card, PayPal, separate direct debit, and Apple in-app purchase, Google, direct carrier billing, you name it. It's just got to be easy to access, easy to pay for, and just simple to find.
Yeah. Now, you've obviously done a lot to achieve that ubiquity very quickly. What are your priorities at the moment for you and the product team at DAZN? So
key priorities in terms of playback, in terms of we always, wherever our KPIs are and that we monitor, is that we always want to sort of raise the bar. So in terms of reducing rebuffering, buffering even further, raising picture quality, making sure that for us we want to actually get on as many different set-top boxes, telco set-top boxes as much as possible. So although we're on the smart TVs, we're on the Apple TVs, Roku's, etc., we just want to basically fish where the fishes are. So for us, the integration which we did in Italy with Sky on Sky Q and Comcast, that's a taste of things to come. And certainly we want to actually get on as many different of those set-top boxes as quickly as possible. And for us to actually make sure we're doing a lot of, again, behind the scenes re-architecture to make sure our service can handle the load. Because again, this is on sports services, fans have a tendency to actually come onto our service in a matter of sort of 15 minutes. We can start off with nothing, then to reach an audience of millions. And at the start of a season, that means sign-ups. And so this rate of sign-ups is not something which even Netflix will see.
Right, yeah. That's a particular challenge with sports and the timing of seasons, I guess.
Correct.
So we're here at Video Exchange Streaming. Why do you come to this event, and what sort of importance do you think this event and events like it has for the industry?
I think it's great obviously as an area to actually share ideas and learnings between among peers in terms of how we can improve OTT, so that OTT becomes the mainstream way to bring it up to the level of broadcast that it just works. From DAZN's point of view, I mean, as we're based in the UK primarily. But we're not live in the UK, and so making sure we can actually increase our brand so we can acquire the right talent to join us is key. Obviously, at some point we'd love to be live in the UK, but building our brand is important.
Right. Well, what have been the key takeaways from the conference for you, and what's been the highlight of the event so far?
Highlight was to actually win OTT Service of the Year at the Videotech Innovation Awards. So yes, that was.
Congratulations once again for that.
Thank you.
Ben, thanks very much.
Thank you.